Good afternoon from Lincoln, Nebraska. It's TeamStrub Day 61. I'm in state number 28 of the summer, and I am joined this afternoon by Bill from the Lighthouse. Bill, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate having you here.
Thank you. And would you like to introduce yourself to America here and tell us what you do?
Absolutely. My name is Bill Michener. I'm the Executive Director of Lighthouse in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we are an after-school program for middle and high school students, hoping to get them to graduation.
Great. How long have you been with the program?
Well, I'm actually one of the original youth, so
Okay.
I started the program 25 years ago as a youth, and I've worked for Lighthouse for 19.
Wow, that's great. And your wife also works here?
My wife also works here, and I met her when we were both youth here at Lighthouse 23 years ago.
And that's one thing I've really noticed since I walked in the door. You walk right in, and the first thing you see on the wall is this wonderful collection of photographs of all of the alums of the program,
Right.
over the last couple decades. So just talk about the stories that you get to see every day.
Oh boy, and this is really why we do what we do, because we get to see our young people in a different light. And this is what I always tell them. When they come in, some of them come in very rough around the edges, not knowing where they fit in the world. I mean, that's a teenager for you. They're trying to figure out their identity. And we work with them, we connect with them, and we use our change agent of love to help them start connecting. Because as humans, that's what we want. We want a connection. And so once we connect to our young people, they start to change and they start wanting more out of life than what they're in right now. It is such an amazing thing.
Let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of the program. So, year-round program?
We are year-round.
Afternoon into the evenings?
Correct. We're 2 to 9, Monday through Friday.
Okay, and we're in a beautiful facility. How many years have we been in this building?
We built this building 7.5 years ago.
Great. And there's several different areas of the building. Right, where are we right now?
We're currently in our education room, so this is our tutoring center.
Okay, and then right across the hall, we serve meals every day?
Correct, so we have a wonderful dining hall that looks like a lodge, because we wanted to have that warm feeling.
Great. And then downstairs, there's more to it. We've got a recreational area, ping pong and pool. I hear you're a ping pong player, maybe the second best on the staff.
Who's first?
Of course. The way it was described to me.
He wins about 1 out of every 100 times, so I guess if that's second best, then.
And of course, there's a gym, and you got a garden and everything.
Yep.
So really a beautiful state-of-the-art facility here in Lincoln. So talk about how the kids get to come in and experience all sorts of different.
Well, and that's where it starts. When we were building the facility, one, we wanted to have a home that they were coming home to. So we built it as a very large home. And then two, we wanted to have that loving, caring environment. So when they walk in the door, they're greeted by a handshake, a hug, how was your day, what families do at home. And it's just a warm, inviting environment. So when they come in, they get greeted. If it's in the summertime, we get them involved in programming that we have going on. If it's in the school year, we get them involved in a snack and then get them in here to get their tutoring and education piece done, and then get them involved in programming. We also want them to have some fun. So that's why there's recreational components as well, is because we want them to be kids.
Sure. Now, fun is always fun, but especially here in the room we're sitting in, we talked a lot about the Beacon Bucks, about how there's incentives for kids to succeed. And of course, the ultimate goal here, as you mentioned, is to increase these kids' propensity to graduate from high school.
Correct.
So talk about how education is still really the most important focus here.
Yeah, education is our #1 goal here. It's period. Everything filters into it. So all programming, whether it's the food program, because if you're hungry, you're not going to worry about your education. If you're tired, you're not going to worry about it. If you have safety issues, you're not going to worry about it. So all the programming filters into that education piece. And so each of the staff have 5 to 10 young people that we've identified as maybe struggling the most in school, and then we build those relationships with them, set goals with them, and then have an end-of-the-year party with them once they reach those goals. And I'm not saying if, I say once, because we're so engaged in their learning and every part of their life that they want to succeed. And so we set them up for success rather than failure. We also then, of course, with the Beacon Bucks, give them Beacon Bucks as an incentive. So they continue to want to do the tutoring and education piece. And then they can redeem those really for everything from a piece of candy all the way to a big screen TV.
Now, everybody loves Beacon Bucks, but the program, of course, runs on real bucks. This is a program that's free for all its participants. come in, they can eat for free, participate in all the programming. But you're strongly against the idea of government funding.
Correct.
So why? And how do you get funding if you're not going after government funding?
I am not a proponent for government funding because I don't want the restrictions that are involved in that.
Okay.
I want to be able to help our young people as we see fit, not put into a box and say you have to do it this way. And we've been very successful over the last 25 years in doing it that way. And our young people graduate at a very high level. Between 93 and 95% a year graduate from high school. It's a very high level. And so we want to make for sure we continue to do the things that we're continuing to do at a high level well. So we are supported by our community, and our community knows us well enough and knows our successes well enough that they continue to support us. And they continue to support us at a high level, not only for funding on an annual basis, but leave us in their wills. And we have already started a foundation for ourselves, so that'll help with funding in our future years. And if we continue to build that, that'll also take care of all administrative costs. So then any money that comes in from the community supports our programming at 100%.
The Lighthouse is participating currently in a pretty amazing program in the city of Lincoln. That there are all these pieces of art all around the community. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So we brought in a bunch of stakeholders when we were trying to decide how to celebrate our 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
And stakeholders came back to us with a couple ideas. And they said, you should do a community art project. And so we fully embraced that. We brought in an expert in that. Her name is Liz Shea McCoy. She has done community art projects of this nature in Lincoln and in Nebraska City.
Okay.
So we decided to go with a light bulb because of the symbolism of a lighthouse and a beacon of hope. And we called it Illuminating Lincoln Lighthouse. And we wanted, of course, two goals. One, to raise funds. Two, to raise awareness. We wanted people to ask questions on what in the heck are these bulbs?
Yep.
Why are they popping up all over Lincoln?
I'm glad you asked the question.
Yeah, and who did it?
Yeah.
So they're like, Lighthouse? Well, I've never heard of Lighthouse. What is it? Then they start saying, it's an after-school program? And then we want it to go kind of viral. We want it to go across the nation. Because then we want people asking, do we need an after-school program in our community?
Yeah.
Because this is something needed in all communities, small and large.
And so these light bulbs are going to be going outside of Lincoln.
Yeah, so we're excited now. So it was just a thought of here in Lincoln, get some national attention. Well, we were brought with the idea of asking the Edison National Museum if they would like one of the light bulbs, because it's a light bulb. Hello. Mm-hmm. And we called them and asked them. They said, this is wonderful. We love the symbolism from you guys, and of course for us, we're also celebrating our 25th anniversary. So we're taking, it looks like we're taking a light bulb to them and kind of paving the way and hopefully getting some media coverage on the way there, just so we can continue this discussion of what is the importance of after-school programming.
Next month. Well, you know, of course, if we get that light bulb to New Jersey before TeamStrub arrives, maybe we'll see, we'll go capture some video and see if we can work something out there. So you guys stay tuned. Another organization is watching this and is interested in getting started with a community art project. Mm-hmm. What's the best way to get started?
You got to find an expert to start with.
Okay.
And then I would go with the idea of something that has never been done before. Like light bulbs have never been done before. You got cows, you got all kinds of things that have happened all across the country. And then you're going to have to find a passionate leader and then get the connections, because it's not going to be successful if you don't have leaders in this that are driving it, helping it continue along, finding the sponsorship and the money and people that are passionate about the arts. This has done more for us than I could have ever imagined. It has blown up. Before we even got started, we wanted to drive the bus, if you will, and say, we want you to go out to each bulb, take a picture, you know, send it into our Facebook page. People started doing it once the bulbs started going up. So we have families, we have people just putting up blogs and websites, and I had no idea that it would have taken off like this. I mean, we thought if we just got a couple people asking, we've done our job.
Well, 50 bulbs, that's a lot of bulbs.
Yeah, 51 bulbs.
51, so there's one on the lawn here and then 50 around the community.
Correct.
The idea?
Yep.
50, any significance to 50?
Well, originally we wanted 25
to
celebrate our 25th anniversary. We got there so quickly, and so many people were asking, can I sponsor a bulb? Can I sponsor a bulb? That we're like, we better go 50. And so we stopped at 50.
Yeah.
And once we stopped, I think about a week later, we got a phone call, and somebody really, really, really passionate about wanting to do one more. So that's why we went to 51, and then so of course we've stopped. But that's really the story behind 51.
Let's of course ask you about the role of volunteers. You know, you got a great staff here, but the place wouldn't run without volunteers.
You're absolutely correct. There's no nonprofit anywhere in the country that can say, "Oh no, we don't need volunteers," because they're the.
It's funny. I did find one.
Oh,
really? I really did. I won't tell you what state.
Boy, they can't
there
be
was
very
one
successful.
who was like, yeah, we're good with volunteers right now. I was like, okay.
That's amazing to me, because really they're the heartbeat and the backbone of an organization.
Blows your mind, doesn't it?
Beyond all belief, because our budget would be so huge if we had to hire the amount of people that we needed to run this organization. I mean, it'd be huge. So volunteers, gosh, I'll tell you what, when somebody comes to me and says, I'd like to volunteer for you, what would I do? I always ask them, what do you want to do? Here's another thing. This is another reason we don't do governmental funding, because we can ask those questions then. I want to know people's strengths and their talents to get more and more for my young people. That's all I want to do. I want to gain more just for the kids.
So I'll tell you guys, that's the third time now I've heard that same sort of response. The first time was in Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, that I asked that question, of course, in every single state. What is the role of volunteers? And I found that some of the most successful organizations, like here in Lincoln, and our house is a homeless shelter in Arkansas. The guy, program coordinator, he's a Vista, answered the question the exact same way. You know, I love having help. You know, it's great, but it's 10 times better when someone comes in and says, "This is what I can do for you."
Right. Right.
So that's a pervasive. If you guys are watching, that's one to hang on to.
So I'm going to give you another term then, because we talked about fundraising. This is friend raising.
Friend raising. I love it. We're going to put it up on the screen right there. Friend raising. There you go. It'll be a chapter in the book.
That's right.
At the end of the summer. Bill, where can people learn more about the Lighthouse?
Easiest way is going to go into lincolnlighthouse.org.
Okay.
And then from there, of course, you'll find out our address. You will learn some stuff about our young people, our programming. You can get on there and email me directly from that website. Our phone number's on there as well. You can learn as much as you need to. And if you have questions, of course, call, email. We're happy to respond.
Got to ask you another question, though. You're a Nebraska native.
Yes.
What do we love about Nebraska?
The Cornhuskers.
Okay. We had that one ready to go. Daily life in Nebraska. We're not in the football season right now, though. We're in the middle of July. Why do we love living in Nebraska?
Well, see, I think I have a different statement than you might.
Okay.
I love living in Nebraska because it is a friendly, wholesome state that I do not really worry about the safety of like raising my son here. And it's just, people know one another. Lincoln's over 250,000 people, and it has that small town feel. And people care about one another. That's why I love Nebraska, is just that Midwestern type thought and feeling and caring towards one another.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Absolutely. I appreciate having you here.
Really
It's been
appreciate
wonderful.
it. And make sure you check out Lighthouse. What is the website again?
LincolnLighthouse.org.
LincolnLighthouse.org for more information. We'll have some photos up on my Instagram and Facebook as well. So